Hello, my friends. It is once again your best friend Justin from J Master Productions. I wanted to reflect a little bit on my visit to Rutgers University and the interviews I did, the current state of humanity, the state of mind, I should say, and of course, the solutions we need to do to elevate before we are completely enslaved through technocracy, because that's clearly where we are headed. You can go take a look at the video. It's my most previous video, the interviews I did at Rutgers. I never done a video like that. I'm definitely going to do more at universities, at towns where there's a lot of people walking around for nightlife. I live here in North Jersey. There's a ton of places to go to where there's people that, of course, will be willing to do the interviews. I know that's big now with content, and people want to hear what other people have to say. I want to hear what other people have to say, and the best way to get my name out there and the truth out there is actual boots on the ground in person. Me making videos in my room like this, like I've been doing for the past, 5 years now, 6 years almost. It's not really cutting it, right? The best way to get your name out there is to talk to people in person so that they see you, they have some sort of connection with you, they've seen you in person, they know you're real, they know you're not some sort of federal agent or whatever you want to call it. Um, so I asked three different questions. I basically said pick a card in my visit to Rutgers, and the questions were: where does money come from? That was one. If you were the president, what is the first thing you would change? That's the second. And the third was: do you think AI is good for our future? Why or why not? Now with the AI question, because that seemed to be the one that most people got, a lot of people said it was good. No one really came right off the bat and said it's bad. There was maybe three people that out of the like 23 people I interviewed that said they said it was good, but they had some concerns about it because, of course, the obvious surface level things like it might take jobs, um, excuse me, privacy concerns, and the government watching you and deep fakes and all that stuff, which of course is very valid concerns because AI is more than likely going to take most jobs. We actually have the biggest unemployment rate going on right now. There's a lot of ghost jobs that, according to LinkedIn, that there's all these ghost jobs where I guess there's some sort of labor law in place where employers have to act like they're hiring even if they're not. Listen, I've been unemployed before. It's a real pain in the ass applying to places, going through the interview process, getting the job, because you don't hear back from most places. They might even interview you, but you don't even hear back from them. Most places are unprofessional. But with the AI, right? Not to get off topic, with the AI, a lot of these young minds don't seem to understand the dark side of it. And it's because a lot of these college kids were young. They were all pretty much 18. The oldest I think I interviewed was like 21. Maybe I'll get different responses in a more mature audience if I go, for example, to Morristown, which is going to probably be more people around my age in their late 20s, maybe 30s, or even mid to early 20s, whatever. Just not college age, you know? A lot of them said it was good because they think it's going to help us advance, it's going to help us identify patterns and trends in the world, and it's going to um, help us elevate as a human species. Now, I didn't sit there and debate with them because I didn't. I that wasn't the purpose of me there to rip them a new one to really question them. These guys are young. I understand that they're not going to be fed the narrative of well, AI is bad because let's be real. As I always talk about, the parents are not educating their kids. I wasn't educated by my parents properly. I was told to get good grades, go to school. Government is good, make money, buy a home, get married one day, have kids, right? Retire in the sunset when I'm in my 60s. And that's pretty much what most parents have taught us. You see, they put us in the government school system, the government ran school system, when we were 5 years old. So we got taught what the government wanted us to know, and we didn't get taught what the government didn't want us to know. It's very simple. So this is what I mean by the parents failed us. They didn't parent us. They were just there. They went through the motions. They taught us the surface level worldly things, but they never properly told us about what's right and what's wrong, what's truth and what's not true, who's really in charge of the world, because they all think the president is the one who's running the world. If you know anything about truth and what's really going on, the president is a puppet. The president has absolutely, excuse me, The president has absolutely no say in what really takes place. The president takes orders. It doesn't matter if it's Coke or Pepsi in the office. Nothing ever changes. Everything always gets worse. The people are always getting screwed, whether it's prices going up due to inflation and the dollar devaluing, or whether it's more laws that are set into place that take rights away and freedoms away from us, the people, and given to the state. A lot of these young kids, they didn't even know where money came from. When I asked them where does money come from, they didn't say the source of it. They said how to get it. They basically said, well, it comes from hard work. It comes from dedication. It comes from being on your grind and working smarter and not harder. And I totally understand why they would say something like that. I used to think that way when I was their age. I didn't start to understand truth until I was about 20 years old. And that's when I started doing my own independent research on the internet. And the internet and random people who I saw on the internet basically enlightened me and educated me over the years on what's really taking place, and still the same to this day. So this is a really big problem because these kids are smart on paper. I mean, the stuff they were studying, there's I don't even remember exactly, but engineering, psychology, minoring in something else. A lot of people, even my age, right? They have bachelor's degrees and older. They got PhDs, they got master's degrees, just to not know shit. Listen, what college is going to get you is debt. College isn't going to guarantee you a job. It's not going to guarantee you money. It's going to guarantee you debt. That's the biggest thing college guarantees. I mean, imagine being 22 years old and you're starting out life in $40,000 of debt, because that's, at least last I checked, is probably more now. But the average college student graduates with $40,000 of debt, which is insane. In this economy, is anyone ever going to be able to pay 40 grand of debt off? Probably not. Because what happens? There's interest on it, price of everything rises, dollar keeps devaluing. No matter how hard you work, you can get 2 jobs, you can get 3 jobs. It doesn't matter. You're getting priced out. We're getting priced out. And it's part of a bigger agenda. It's not by accident. It's not because the wrong political party is in office or because of the president. It's because it's part of an agenda. Because like I said, the Federal Reserve, right, which is where money comes from, that's the source of money. There was one girl who did say, actually, that, it was the Fed. She asked to not be posted, though, so I didn't post when she said it. But there was only one person out of the 23 plus people that I interviewed that actually gave the right answer. And this is very concerning because at first she didn't give that answer. I had to explain the source of money. Who prints America's money supply? And then that's when she said, the Fed. But here's the thing, is a lot of people don't know, right? You're in college, a lot of us went to college. A lot of us were told that if we went to school, we got a college degree and we got a good job, that we're going to be set. And if we make all this money, our lives are going to be good. And we just dig our head in the sand and we don't care about anything that goes on around us, right? But that's wrong. Because we're not being taught proper morals. We're not being taught what's true and what's not true. I've said this before, but I follow a lot of New Jersey political pages on Twitter, and it's amazing, right? Because a lot of them are red leaning, they're more conservative leaning, because obviously New Jersey's been a blue state for a long time, and they just blame the Democrats for everything bad happening here, right? Home prices are high, electric bills are high, food prices are high. It's all the Democrats' fault. We got to get the new Republican candidate for whatever county or governor of the state, whatever it is. And it's really incredible, right? Trump's been in office for well over half a year now. My groceries aren't any cheaper. My rent didn't get cheaper. Home prices didn't get cheaper. In fact, there's more sellers than buyers right now for the first time in history. And it's by a lot. And just like there's unemployment at the highest rate we've ever seen, like I said earlier, with and then the ghost jobs going on. We're headed towards an economical disaster. Your college degree won't save you. Your job won't save you, that's for damn sure. Your parents don't have an answer for you. Your parents think that, these are just someone like me is a conspiracy theorist, right? Even though I'm telling you facts. I'm telling you stuff that's true. And the problem is people want to ignore it. Listen, you can think what I say is bullshit all you want. You can think you can disagree, but that doesn't mean I'm lying. That doesn't mean what I'm saying is false. You see, you just don't want to look at the truth. You want to be comfortable with whatever wherever you're at in life. You just want to sit there and be comfortable because the truth is uncomfortable. And if you acknowledge that what I'm saying is true and what other people like me say is true, that means you have to change. That means you're probably going to lose your girlfriend. Your parents, your friends are going to look at you a certain way. And they're probably going to, maybe your parents won't talk to you anymore. Maybe your friends won't talk to you anymore. And it's too painful for people to go through that process of changing themselves and re-educating themselves. I already went through the process. And it was a painful process. It was lonely. It really was. I was dying of loneliness for a long time until I started manifesting by putting truth out there. The world rewarded me by giving me people in my life who were beneficial to my life, who understood what I was saying, who I've made videos with, I made content with together, who helped me with my content, right? Who benefit my life on the side even, just not even anything to do with my content, just the way I live. And this is the big problem right here, is when I ask these questions to the college kids, right, I didn't expect them to give the answers that I would give, of course, or someone who's as awake as I am. But it's the fact that pretty much all of them didn't know that money came from the Federal Reserve. That's a really big problem because that's kindergarten, first grade level knowledge, first of all. Second of all, they don't see the dark side of AI. They think it's going to be good. They don't see how it's going to be used to enslave us. They don't see how that's going to be used, not all, but they don't see how that's going to be used to take your jobs. Probably not all jobs will be obsolete, but most of them will. We're already seeing it with computer science, right? How there's all this stuff coming out about computer science grads and people who study computer science and stuff like that, that they can't find a job because AI has already replaced them. Excuse me. How AI is going to take over my job maybe soon, right? I'm currently an employee. I do sales. Maybe an AI bot or whatever that's not even like a legit physical thing is going to be able to do my job and create more qualified, better leads for my company than I can, right? Because I'm not a machine. I can't constantly be working all the time like an AI machine can be. When asked, the presidential question, when I asked them about it, a lot of them didn't really give a logical answer, right? I mean, some of them said, they would change the roadway speed limits. Some of them didn't even know how to answer the question. Some of them gave a local explanation, like the one girl who said with more buses in Rutgers or something, because she waits a long time for the bus and it takes a long time for the bus to arrive at the destination. And something weird too? I gained a ton of followers from people, but a lot of them unfollowed me. And I found that quite strange. Not sure if it's because they dug deeper into my content and they don't agree with it. Maybe it's because they were a little bit intoxicated, some of them, so they got embarrassed. Or maybe it's because they just want a good following ratio. You see, that the generation coming up behind me is very superficial. They care a lot, and it's not like my generation doesn't either, but it's even worse for them. They care a lot about their following ratio. They care about how they appear. They think the opposite sex is going to be more attracted to them, and people are going to view them a certain way if their Instagram following ratio or their posts look a certain way. I mean, it's really weird and pathetic if you think about it. But this is where we're at. And a lot of people didn't really give any logical explanation to what they would do if they were president, right? And again, not that I expected a whole lot from them because they're young, they're impressionable. They're raised by the government, they're raised by TikTok and social media because it's no longer movies and television that's raising the people. It's now social media influencers. That's what most people want to be when they grow up, or that's what most people aspire to be, is a social media influencer. I'm on that train too. I am a social media influencer who's not big, of course, but I'm aspiring to be a social media, not for pure comedy or to make you laugh or to entertain you. It's to actually utilize the platforms for a positive and good message that can actually change the world for the better. And the issue is people will listen to what I say, if they do, and a lot of them think it's crazy. They dismiss it. Because what happens is, if, like I said, if you acknowledge that what I'm saying is true, it means you have to re-educate yourself. It means you have to change, and it means you have to start talking about these things with people. And people are going to leave you over it. You're going to lose your girlfriend. Your parents are going to look at you weird. Your friends are going to look at you weird. You might lose your job if you start talking about these things, right? Because that's the problem, is people are living in fear. Everyone is driven by fear. Oh, how's my job going to feel about it? How's my girlfriend going to feel? How's my friends going to feel? What's my family going to think? What's this person going to think? What's my community going to think about me? And you know what? I get it. I totally and completely understand. It's uncomfortable to be looked at as there's something wrong with you, or you're crazy, or you're controversial. I get it. But look at what's taking place around you. No one my age is able to buy a home. Groceries are absolutely insanely overpriced. And most people aren't moving out of their parents' house that are my age because of the insane rent prices, especially here in New Jersey, which is probably one of the top 5 easily most expensive states to live in. So when you sit back on the sideline and you just watch and you just hope and pray things are going to get better, that's why things are getting bad. Because there's not enough people doing what I'm doing. Listen, I'm not better than you. I'm not smarter than you. I'm just a guy. But I'm a guy who's not ignorant. I spent the past 8 years of my life looking into truth, understanding the truth, and I still do it to this day. And I'm still evolving. I'm still learning. But I'm telling you, I have the bigger and more full scope than the vast majority of people out here do. Because like I was saying earlier with the X, the people I follow on X, the political pages here in New Jersey, they just blame the Democrats. It's constantly blaming the Democrats, or it's the opposite, blaming the conservatives. I mean, when is this immature, childlike behavior ever going to stop? When are people going to realize that, first of all, no president has control over the economy? It's the Federal Reserve. That's one. We got to look at the history of the Federal Reserve, which I'm definitely not going to get into right now. That's all out there for you to see. It's not hidden information, and it's not a conspiracy theory at all at this point. When you understand the history behind the Fed, then you should look at politics and say, okay, these guys all work for the international bankers, who really are dark occultists. Right? It's not like it goes beyond just money and banking and all that. It's an occult of really rich and famous people, and then they get people in Hollywood, they get people on social media to join the occult to push agendas on the youth, so that the youth thinks a certain way, so that they react to things a certain way. That's why I always talk about Nick Fuentes and Myron Gaines and Jake Shields and Candace Owens and these micro-influencers, Alex Jones, who they might not be like Justin Bieber famous, but they're if you're in the political realm of things, if you're a half-wit conspiracy theorist, which, mind you, conspiracies, so-called, truth, has been hijacked by MAGA for a long time now, thanks to QAnon. And what's gone on with that is they've hijacked the truth. They're now feeding you partial truths, but they're still keeping you in the left-right paradigm. You see, if you're stuck in the left-right paradigm and you think some sort of political candidate is going to come and save you, you're sadly mistaken. Maybe you can make some change on the local level if you get enough people, but in the federal level, forget about it. These people are bought and paid for. Just like Fuentes is more than likely bought and paid for. Myron Gaines, Alex Jones, without a doubt Alex Jones is. Candace Owens. These people are here for their job is to mislead those who are asking questions. Because a lot of people over the years, especially since COVID, started to ask questions and say, all right, what's really going on, with politics? And are these people like on the same team or whatever? And what these people do is they push out these micro influencers to keep you in the left right paradigm, or it's to make you hate specific groups. Fuentes, Myron Gaines, right? Candace Owens, Jake Shields, especially, they're chaos agents. Dan Bilzerian, who joined the fight, making you hate a specific group of people. Oh, it's Jews, it's Israel. Oh, black people are the problem. Oh, Indians are smelly and disgusting. And then you have the opposite side. Oh, white people are the devil, right? The race war that's really been ignited a lot, especially since the George Floyd incident. So my overall, listen, I had fun at Rutgers. I did. It was a fun time. But these kids are lost. And listen, is it my responsibility fully to change them? It kind of is in a way. People say, well, it's not your responsibility to wake them up, Justin. Well, you know what? It is. Because I have a moral duty to do so. Because I understand truth. I understand morality. I understand what's taking place in this world way better than the average person. And all I can do is plant the seed in their head, and hopefully in the future it'll grow and they'll do research on their own, because I don't expect them to change instantly. I told them, look into the people who got the money question, look into the Federal Reserve. It has a dark history. And if they don't want to do it, fine, they can remain ignorant. But maybe one day in the future that something will spark them to do so, and they'll remember me saying it, and that seed can grow. And maybe they'll wake up. So we have a lot of work to do for humanity. We really do. We're not where we need to be. I'm not very optimistic about the future, because people are just taking it up the rear end. Either people are just digging their head in the sand, they don't care, or they're getting caught up in the wrong things. Which is, we need Donald Trump in office. We need conservatives for state governor and on the local levels, this and that. And if we do, it's amazing to me how this man Trump has been in office for over half a year, and things are getting worse. Unemployment is worse. Everything is more expensive. And I don't know, listen, like, I don't know what I need to say for people to snap out of it a little bit. But your ignorant friends aren't going to help you. Drinking and partying, which I know is fun. I like to do it too. It's not going to get you anywhere. A lot of you hang out with people who don't know a damn thing. All you guys out there, you men, you don't stand for anything. You'll throw a fit if your favorite sports team loses, or if your fantasy draft team isn't doing well. You'll throw a fit. But you don't throw a fit when home prices get higher, when your rent gets raised, or when grocery prices get raised. You don't throw a fit. I mean, imagine men cared about what I'm talking about more than their sports team. Can you imagine the revolution we would see, especially in the United States? But you don't see that. Because, again, everyone is focused on the wrong things. And it's like how I've spoken about this with women in previous videos. If women stop supporting the toxic hyper masculinity in men, if women got in touch with their feminine side, especially American women, if they got in touch with their feminine side and understood truth and stopped following the crowd and stopped trying to impress their friends with their Instagram or how they look or their college degree or their job or how they don't need no man, can you imagine the revolution we would see? Because if women thought that men who were conspiracy theorists like me and putting themselves out there like me were sexy, can you imagine the revolution we would see with men? But no. Women are always saying they want a tall guy who's rich, who's going to spoil them. And these superficial things that, quite frankly, in today's world don't even exist. It's 2025. It's not 1980 anymore. So people need to snap out of it. And same with the older generations who have this idiotic mentality that what made them successful is going to make us successful. It's ridiculous. It really, truly is. I mean, people really need to snap out of it, get with the times, understand what's taking place, understand what's important and what's not. But the issue is the social pressure with the younger generation is they want to impress their friends. They want to impress the opposite sex. They want to impress their family. They want to impress people who don't know a damn thing about truth. And we're getting led right to the slaughterhouse. The solution is to stop complying with everything. Stop listening to politicians promising you a change. Stop listening to the false influencers on the internet. And just don't comply. Don't comply with the ridiculous stuff that the government says. Don't comply with technocracy. Don't comply with digital IDs, face scans, and stuff like that. Just don't comply. Listen. The solution is simple, but I guess it's not easy, right? I get it because you have to be the one to stand out and not comply because we've been trained, especially my generation, to comply with everything and that the government's good. The government would never conspire against the people. That's what they've taught us. That's what they taught us. And then people are so fearful. Well, if I don't do this, I'm going to lose my job. I'm going to lose my income. Listen, you're getting paid in fiat currency, which isn't real money anyway. You're getting paid in dollars that's set to collapse at any given day. So listen, all the money you have in your bank account, you could have $1 million in your bank account. Once that dollar collapses, you're going to have nothing. And that's when a social credit score, a universal basic income will probably be introduced, and the people are going to accept it because the people are going to be in such fear of their future, just like they were with COVID and 9/11 and all these other false flags that's happened, that they're just going to accept whatever the government says because people don't want to stand up and fight. People don't want to stand up for truth. People just want to be passive. They want to be comfortable because they love their slave chains. They love this world that they've come to know. And they don't want to get uncomfortable to be comfortable. So the kids got a lot of work to do. Their parents failed them. Listen, just like mine, just like most people. Most people's parents have failed them because they did not teach them what's really going on. They taught them the basic surface level things. They threw you in these institutions. Whether it's grades K through 12 or college, because it's all the same thing. It's all the same curriculum by the same people, and they're being fed BS, stuff that's meaningless. Just to graduate from college with all this debt, right? Just to not be guaranteed a job, right? And then on top of that, you got filth with social media that's been around for, almost 20 years now. In 2028, I guess, 20 years now of social media being normal. And it's evolved a lot over time to now you have all these influencers out there that kids see from a young age. And a lot of it is just pure entertainment, which is nothing wrong with entertainment. I find some of these social media influencers entertaining. But I don't spend my time watching them. I don't aspire to be them. I don't want to sit here and just entertain people. I want to light a fire under your ass so that you can go educate yourself. And then on top of that, you'll actually go and do something. Not just understand it and keep it to yourself. Oh, well, I know it, so I'm good. No, you have to go out there, whether it's in person or online, and it should be both. It shouldn't be one or the other. It should be both. And you have to talk about these things with people. You have a moral responsibility. This is my purpose in life. This should be all of our purposes in life. It is to get a better future. But most people are too afraid to do so. Because, again, a lot of people just live in fear. They wake up every day, they're in fear. They're in fear. What if I get bad grades at school? What if I get, fired from my job today? All these things. What is this person going to think about me? Oh, all these things. And until you snap out of it, until you can gain the courage to actually look into these things and understand them and then make a change, don't expect anything in the world to get better. Things are just going to get worse. We're going to be enslaved to technocracy. There's going to be a social credit score system. There's going to be universal basic income. And if you dare question Big Brother, the government, if it's even going to be a president or maybe some AI thing that's our overlord or whatever, if you dare question it, you're going to probably go to prison. We're headed in that direction. And once we're there, because you're not going to have freedom of speech or expression, once we're there, there's no coming out. Because this is like nothing that's ever been around in history before, which is enslavement through technology. So I'm going to end it here. I went almost 30 damn minutes. It's amazing how fast time goes. Let me know what you guys think about what I said here. Let me know what you guys think about my time in Rutgers and where you want me to visit next. and I'll see you guys in the next one.